When it comes to answering the longer questions, in each sitting we find candidates will make assumptions which aren't correct. So they'll work out the numbers and then go on to state things about amounts of money which weren't actually available or weren't actually given in the case study. For example, I would allocate the £5 million available for a trust in such and such a way to this client. But if they'd read the question more carefully, they would have found there was only £2.5 million available for the trust. So while the logic might follow within the £5 million limit that you've set for yourself, it's not within the limit that has been set in the question paper. So that will cost you marks. Please be careful on that one. Clarity, yes, a perennial issue. People aren't used to writing for 3 hours all at a session in their day jobs, and handwriting can become very sloppy and messy, and as time ticks away, people often tend to write more frantically. So if you have poor handwriting, don't worry, write on every other line if it helps. You can write in capitals, several candidates do. This of course is slower than writing in lowercase, but if you find that your easiest style, then please do go ahead. As long as it's legible, the chief examiners will read it and can award you marks. Extra sheets of paper are available. If you run out of space in the answer book, don't worry. You can put your hand up and the invigilators will give you some extra paper. Any extra paper that you're given needs to be included in your answer book when you hand it in. There's no rough paper available because we need to know what people have on their desks all the time. So any rough work, as I mentioned earlier, it can be done within the answer book, and just put your hand up for some more paper. On the front of the question paper, it's clearly stated that no marks will be given for illegible work. So please don't be one of those candidates who writes illegibly. If you're unable to write for some reason, such as you've broken your wrist or had an injury in the time before the exam, we can make arrangements for you to be able to either use a computer, if that helps, a keyboard, or to have a scribe, somebody to write the answers down for you. You tell them what the answers are and they will write them down for you. So please do get in touch with us if that's a service you need. Sometimes within a question paper you will be asked as a candidate to use a certain format of answer, such as a letter to a client. And while this isn't the be-all and end-all of the answer that you give, you need to be aware of what a letter looks like. And if you're asked for a letter to a client, then please format your answer as a letter to a client. You'll be amazed how many times people ignore the instruction. They put the information in the answer, but they don't follow the instruction about what the format is. If your boss had asked you to write a letter to somebody, you wouldn't just put the information in there. So please do this in the exam as well. If it's a request for a certain format of answer, please use that format. Calculations. Lots of calculations at the high level exams. You need to show your workings in your calculations. I say this, you don't necessarily have to show us your calculations because, for example, in PCIM, there will be 4 marks available very often in the short answer questions, and if you just write the correct number as your answer next to the right question number, you will be given the full marks, 4 marks, well done. However, if you get the wrong answer, you'll get 0 marks. If you've given us your calculations and how you got to your answer, it's quite possible you can score 3 or 3.5 marks even with the wrong answer. So always write down your calculations and how you've got to your answer. And if you need to return to a question, please do leave space in the question paper, in the answer script, leave a half a page or a page for a calculation. You can always come back to it later. That way you avoid writing down the wrong sequence of question numbers on the front of the script, and it all remains nice and clear for the examiners. And it also gives you time at the end to find the answer that you would need to fill in if you've got very little time left at the end of the exam.